Ozarks Technical Community College is proud to have a large and active chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, the International Honor Society for two-year colleges. Graduate Stephanie Ashley has been active in OTC's Phi Theta Kappa chapter, serving as chair of communication, and was a key player in the chapter's honors and action projects. Stephanie is graduating with an AAS in electronic media production with honors, and she's already has a job as a production assistant at Color 10. Please join me in welcoming Phi Theta Kappa member of the 2014 graduating class, Stephanie Ashley.
This is a big moment for me. Hold on one second. Dr. Higdon, honored guests, trustees, administrators, faculty, staff, friends and family, and my fellow graduates. First and foremost, let me say congratulations to every one of you for completing the challenge that is your certificate or your degree. Not everyone can say that, and you should be proud. This is an important step in what can be an incredible future. So please don't think any less of your accomplishment or just view this as just an associate's degree. You have opened up a world of potential, whether you decide to go on to a four-year school or straight into the career field. In fact, according to a study done by Georgetown University, those with an associate's degree make an extra $400,000 over the course of their lives. So if you don't think you've accomplished something important tonight, you are more than welcome to send that money my way. Now, when I started OTC, I was 31 years old. I had never been to college, I owned 2 struggling businesses, and I was excited to develop my skills as an audio engineer. I didn't see myself going any further than OTC, as I just wanted to gain more knowledge and experience to better my craft. After all, how hard could it be to complete an associate's degree, right? Well, after 1 year in school, I took on a full-time job that required me to cut back my hours at OTC, and I stretched my 2-year degree program into a 4-year degree program. Now here I am at age 34, graduating college, and so much has changed. I closed one of my businesses. I have a beautiful new family that I'm finally free to acknowledge and be proud of. I have an amazing job pursuing a love of studio television that I never would have discovered had I not come to OTC. Not to mention the numerous memories that I've made as being part of Phi Theta Kappa, competing and winning state competition with Skills USA, and gaining an enormous amount of experience toward my newly chosen field by interning at Color 10 and KOZL. I, like all of you, have faced challenges, hardships, exhaustion, and criticism for my decision to complete my associate's degree, but I made it, and I'm thankful that I did. Had I not come to school here, I would have never discovered that I really do have a love of learning, a love of thoughtful discussion, and a desire to seek out the tools needed to find out who I truly am and make myself the best person I can be. I want to thank the numerous people who have helped me along this journey. My oldest friend, Jason, for helping me get over the fear of starting college in my 30s. My mom for her encouragement. Lisa and Kasia, who give me the motivation to be the best I can be and to create a better life for all of us. My advisor, Dana, who has offered me tons of advice and support in search for my niche. And Steve, Joe, and the rest of my Phi Theta Kappa family, who have never turned their back on me or judged me through the whirlwind of change, which is my life. OTC and Phi Theta Kappa has offered a tremendous support system for me to stay in school and complete my degree, and I could not be more proud, and I hope you are as well. After all, in the great words of the even greater Weird Al Yankovic, this means something. This is important. No matter where you go from here, do not for 1 second think that you haven't accomplished something incredible tonight. I am proud of all of us, and I'm proud to call myself a member of the class of 2014 of Ozarks Technical Community College. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. The Ozarks Technical Community College Distinguished Alumni Award is presented to recognize and honor an alumnus for their accomplishments and professional success. This year's recipient gave the ultimate sacrifice to his country. Special Agent Sergeant Joseph M. Peters of the 286th Military Police Detachment was killed on October 6, 2013, from injuries he sustained in a devastating series of blasts from suicide bombs and IEDs in an Afghanistan compound west of Kandahar. Joseph was a devoted husband, father, son, brother, and friend. Joseph, a graduate of Republic High School, earned a certificate of electronic media production at Ozarks Technical Community College. His death has had an immeasurable impact on all of us. He gave his last full measure of devotion in laying down his life for his country, his family, and his friends. He will be missed, but never forgotten. Would you please join me in welcoming Joseph's father, Dennis Peters, who will accept the award on behalf of his son.
Thank you all very much. The Peters family is deeply moved. Joseph has been chosen as the Distinguished Alumni of the Year. We want to thank Dr. Higdon and the OTC Board of Trustees for honoring Joseph's heroism, service, and legacy in this manner. Debbie, Ashley, and Gabriel regret not being here this evening, but they are in Washington, D.C., where Joseph is being honored by the Fraternal Order of Police Officers. Before I begin my remarks, I would ask that every veteran, active military, spouse of, dependent of, or sibling of, please stand up. This group represents the 1% of Americans who protect us from those who do us harm. Thank you so very much. In thinking about what I would say, considering the significance of this event to all in attendance, I found myself thinking about our founding fathers and what they might be thinking as they look down from the heavens upon this ceremony tonight. I think they would be proud. Graduation ceremonies truly epitomize the soul of what the founding fathers fought and died for over 200 years ago. It was Thomas Jefferson, with quill and parchment, gave life to the words that inspired our fight for freedom in 1776, when he wrote about mankind's inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Tonight marks a significant step in all your lives. You are now one step closer to your dreams and better equipped in your own pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness is never easy. To reach any goal or dream, it requires choices and sacrifices along the way. As graduates here tonight, you have lived this truth and have experienced the sacrifices needed to graduate. But there have been others who have also made sacrifices to help you achieve this dream. Many of you were supported by family and friends who made sacrifices. There are instructors, staff, and a host of others here at OTC who gave something of themselves for you so you could graduate tonight. Not only graduates, but none of us here tonight would be able to enjoy this moment without the men and women of the United States military. Our soldiers make sacrifices daily for millions of Americans they will never meet, and those millions of Americans will never really know all the sacrifices made for their personal freedoms. Thomas Jefferson once wrote, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants." What this means is that for freedom and liberty to endure, some must answer the call to stop those who would strip mankind of these most cherished rights. Joseph was killed in Afghanistan on October 6, 2013, and in his final action showed not only did he understand Jefferson's statement, but he embraced it. His blood was added alongside the many that have shed their blood to refresh the tree of liberty since Jefferson penned our Declaration of Independence. Joseph did what he did so you and I could be free. Because of Joseph's sacrifice and the millions of other soldiers who have answered the call for our freedom, I challenge you to do three things. First, take into account that freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are more than rights, they are privileges. Privileges not many who have ever had the opportunity of experiencing. Even today, a majority of those alive do not have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So honor these rights and privileges in how you decide to live your life, and recognize and honor those who protect those rights. Secondly, I would ask you simply thank the men and women who are in or have served in the military. Recognize that they have made sacrifices for you and all of us. As you leave tonight, you will see graduates with red, white, and blue cords on. They and their families made many sacrifices so we could be here tonight. As you go out and about enjoying your freedoms and you see a soldier or a veteran, thank them. And thirdly, if you ever have the chance to help someone else pursue their dreams, especially a veteran or a soldier, be willing to sacrifice a little bit of your time and your money in honor of all those who have helped you, and because of the many men and women like Joseph who sacrificed everything. God bless you all. God bless the men and women of the United States military, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
This year's commencement speaker, Attorney General Koster, was born and raised in St. Louis. He is serving his second term as the 41st Attorney General of Missouri. Mr. Koster is the People's Attorney General. During his time in office, he has created a domestic violence task force, cracked down on fraudulent Medicaid providers, stood up for workers' rights, and protected Missouri's consumers against fraud. He has waged an effective fight to stop the spread of methamphetamine. Mr. Koster is a former state senator and prosecuting attorney. It is my pleasure to welcome Attorney General Koster.
Good evening. To President Higdon, to the administration and faculty of the Ozark Technical College, thank you for the invitation to join you tonight at the college's 23rd Spring Commencement Ceremony. And to you, the graduates of this class of 2014, my congratulations on your considerable achievement tonight. Now, while we're here to recognize these graduates and their families, I also want to recognize this great institution itself. OTC's incredible success is sending an important message across Missouri that community colleges are destined to play an increasingly important role in Missouri's higher education future. Please join me in thanking President Higdon and the faculty of this great institution for their leadership. Several years ago, each of you made a decision to pursue a path of higher education. And because you made that choice, you have lifted the trajectory of your professional life from this moment forward. The statistics that support that belief are well known. On average, community college graduates will earn 30% more over the course of their lifetimes than those who have not had this opportunity. Your job satisfaction will be enhanced. Your work life is going to be more productive. You'll be able to share more with those that you love. And should you find yourself in a position someday to continue your education at a four-year university, the benefits that you will reap from that educational investment will be brighter still. Despite the enormous emphasis that we place on higher education in Missouri, the fact is that only 1/3 of Missouri's citizens have achieved what you will achieve tonight, an advanced degree. It's a significant accomplishment. That's why we stop tonight to say, well done. To you for your new degrees, and to your families for the support that they have given you. We respect this moment. We also respect something else about you. We respect the fact that in order to earn this degree tonight, each of you has placed a bet on yourself. Because to invest in yourselves, whether through education or through starting a business or striving to advance at work, is to place a bet on yourself. And that willingness to bet on yourself is a habit that you will tap again and again as you strive to achieve future successes. If I leave you with one thought on this night of beginnings, it is to make betting on yourself a habit that will span your entire life. My own reckoning with this life lesson came on a single day, August 1st, 2007, a day that changed the course of my career. By betting on my own future and that it could be different going forward. It was the day that I pulled up a 13-year career in government, up by the roots, and switched political parties. For those of you who don't know, I was elected to serve as Attorney General as a Democrat. But for my first 13 years in office, I had been a Republican, serving 3 terms as a Republican prosecutor and then 4 years as a Republican senator from Western Missouri. My decision to change parties came after a period of bitter legislative fighting over the issue of stem cell research in the state of Missouri. I had broken with my party by advocating that this medical research should remain legal in our state, while the majority in Jefferson City was attempting to criminalize this medical work. When I made my decision to join the Democratic minority, it came as quite a surprise to my family. I actually think that changing religions would have been less of a shock to my dear mother, who today remains one of Fox News' most devoted viewers. The reaction at the state capitol was hardly any better. When the announcement occurred on August 1st, both Republicans and even many Democrats denounced the decision. There were emergency meetings at the state capitol and talk radio calls for my resignation, and a media swirl that lasted for 3 days. Then came August 4th, the 4th day following the decision. And that is the day that I really remember. Saturday, August 4th was quiet. Deathly quiet. No telephone calls, no emails, no texts, no doorbells, nothing. Total silence. On that day, I had few Republican friends left, and for all practical purposes, I had no Democratic allies either. It was actually just 1 year to the day from the next election, and conventional wisdom was that I had thrown my career away. I have to admit, I felt pretty alone, and I was terrified that my bet on myself was about to turn into a big bust. At 9 a.m. that morning, I sat by myself at the kitchen counter with a notebook and a telephone. I made a telephone call. I took some notes. I made a second call. I took some notes. I made a third, and a fourth, and a 10th, and a 30th, and a 60th. I called neighborhood activists and legislators and businessmen and preachers, and honestly, I was grateful for anyone who would even pick up the phone and talk to me. Foolishly, perhaps, I put my life savings into the campaign account. I traveled constantly, and I committed that no matter how bad things seemed, I would not stop, and I would not feel sorry for myself for 1 year. Did I make mistakes? Lots of them. Hiring decisions that had to be undone, strategic decisions that were wrong. But over time, a new organization was built, one that was closer to my heart and closer to my hope for the future of this state. One day, several months into this rebuilding process, I was exiting an elevator in St. Louis, Missouri, when I bumped into an old friend, a gentleman by the name of Mark Vittert. Now, Vittert is one of this state's most successful entrepreneurs over the last 50 years. He had created a string of successful business newspapers in large cities all over the country. He was living in Florida at the time and really had no idea about the controversy that had surrounded me for several months. "What's going on?" he said. Well, I told him the story. That after 13 years in public office, I'd changed parties over this stem cell research, that the transition was much harder than I had expected, that I'd resigned my leadership post in the state Senate, staked my campaign with my life savings, and was now running for the nomination of a party that I had only recently joined. I was trying something that had never been done before, and consequently, hardly anybody thought that it could be accomplished. But my mind was made up, and I was all in. Vittert looked at me with a ponderous expression, and after a few long moments, he said, "I think that you're going to be successful." Now, I smiled sheepishly, and I discounted the encouragement as the kind words of an old friend. But then Vittert said something that I've thought about many, many times since, and it was this. "In my life," he said, "I've looked at thousands of financial opportunities. Each week, I'm approached by would-be entrepreneurs asking me to invest in new business ventures. They come with MBAs from fancy schools and neatly typed business plans. And almost always," he continued, "my response is the same. I hear them out, I ask a few questions, and then I say, 'Best of luck to you,' and send them on their way. Because when I look at a new business," he said, "I'm looking for something more than a knowledge of accounting or their ideas about a new and emerging market. I'm looking for fearlessness, a determination to overcome every obstacle. I'm looking for complete commitment to success." Nearly every successful person I know in business, he said, has faced a moment in their life when their back was against the wall and they had to go all in. They had an idea that they believed in completely, and achieving it was going to require them to push all of their chips to the center of the table, to figuratively go down to the bank, to take out the deed to the family farm and bet it, to bet the whole darn thing on their success, on a better idea, on a better future. When you find yourself willing to commit to such a moment, he said, life has a way of proving over and over again that your odds of success are surprisingly good. The truth that my friend was highlighting that day was this. Each of us may have a plan for our life, but the chances are high that our plans are wrong. Our lives travel down uncharted roads. Something veers off course, and reality will force us to step back and adjust. But the person who is all in is the one who is going to think about this situation every waking minute of the day. Her sensitivity to miscalculation is unbelievably attentive. If she's a salesperson, she has the energy to go knock personally on every door. If she's analyzing a market, she's going to see the risks at the earliest moment and adjust. If she's hired the wrong employee, she's going to change them quickly and correct course. She's just never, ever going to give up until she gets it right. When it comes to succeeding, she is all in. And so, at this moment, when you are at the beginning of your journey, when the odds might seem difficult, and conventional wisdom may even be against you, we all remember this. The greatest predictor of success is something that no one in this arena has ever been able to put into books. It is your will. Your willingness to sacrifice what is good to reach for what is great. Your willingness to lose in order to win. Your willingness to push all of the chips to the center of the table when your gut tells you that now is the time. Because life reminds us again and again that there is a magic that seems to come from an enduring will, a probability of success that grows from our belief in oneself, and something about jumping without a net that actually seems to foster flying. Your accomplishment tonight is such a bet on your success that will lead you to make more and bigger bets in the future, until betting on your own success becomes a life habit and a key to a brighter tomorrow. Thank you, graduates, congratulations, and best of luck to all of you.
Would the candidates of the graduating class of 2014 please stand?
Wiximar.